Trump bombing Iran for the third night running, major series of strikes as President Trump is officially notifying Congress that the war with Iran has resumed. And he also gives this warning.
We're attacking them tonight. We're taking out all of their capability for anything having to do with the Strait.
We're going to hit them very hard tonight, and we're going to hit them hard tomorrow. We'll probably give Pickaxe a shot.
Now, what exactly a shot at Pickaxe means is unclear, because Pickaxe Mountain is where Iran has a suspected nuclear facility buried deep underneath that mountain. The White House told Congress that the U.S. is targeting missile launch sites, air defenses, military maritime assets, military support infrastructure, and command and control capabilities, which is quite an extensive list. And it does raise a really important question, because isn't this what Trump has already said again and again and again was already accomplished by his 136-day war? After all, Trump has claimed all those things that I listed have been wiped out and eviscerated, destroyed by the U.S.
We have eviscerated them military.
Iran today has no Navy, no Air Force, no anti-aircraft capability, no radar, virtually no manufacturing. Their rocket launches have been cut by 90%. We have Iran in a position where their military has been totally wiped out.
With this notification to Congress that the war is back on, such that it is, the formal notification went out. Do you think that more military strikes, the way that we're seeing this all play out, will do anything to end the war?
Well, look, I think the news today is important. I agree with the president. I think it's the right move to reinstate the blockade. I think that the solution here, if there is one, short of boots on the ground, is going to be through the economic strangling of Iran. So it's the military strikes are helpful in the sense that it takes care of the capabilities that Iran is using against commercial shipping. But that alone is not going to end the conflict and not restrict them from threatening the Strait. So I think the imposing more economics, reinstating the blockade, of course, withdrawing licenses as he's already done are important. And look, I'd like to see the administration explicitly walk away from the MOU. It was not a good MOU. Of the 14 points, only one mentioned the nuclear side of this angle. And even that pushed the issues off till much, much later. So I'd like to see them walk away from this MOU and put the pressure back on the Iranians.
So Trump said tonight, you mentioned the nuclear issue, that the U.S. would take out Pickaxe Mountain, which is one of the suspected nuclear sites. Here's specifically what Trump said, Secretary.
We're going to take out Pickaxe Mountain. Tell the Iranians to be ready. Let them know we're coming, okay? There's not a damn thing they can do.
I understand, Secretary, that experts have said that specific underground facility is buried so deep that it may well be beyond the reach of even the most powerful bunker buster bombs. But this goes in the category of a lot of threats, whether it be wiping a civilization off the map, boots on the ground, lots of threats that have not actually ended up with action. Do you think something like this, a threat like this, is in that same category? Can you tell, knowing him and having been in these important positions, can you tell which it is?
Well, I think the U.S. military did a great job last summer around this time with Operation Midnight Hammer in terms of attacking the primary nuclear sites of Natanz, Fordow, and Isfahan. And at the time, it was reported that there was a lot of success there, but Pickaxe Mountain was not attacked. And there's obviously some intelligence that was being prepared as a future site for the nuclear program. Maybe something has come out in recent days or weeks that suggests they're trying to rebuild that site, despite the MOU saying that all work on these types of things should be frozen. So maybe he's getting intelligence that they're trying to build there, and he wants to shut it down by, for example, closing the entrances might be something that they're trying to do.
Yeah. All right. So can I ask you about this all with the Strait? Again, in the category of Trump often says a lot, and then what happens is actually different. So when he's saying the U.S. is going to, his words today, and I quote, Mr. Secretary, we're taking over the Strait. So he says that, and then he says they're going to charge a 20% fee, essentially, to anyone who goes through it in exchange for U.S. protection. Obviously, it would seem if the U.S. could have done that and done that easily for just economic reasons, it would have been done a long time ago. So I'm a little bit confused by that. I'm also curious as to your take when you contrast that with what Marco Rubio said, which is the status of international law and the status of U.S. support, which would be for absolutely no toll or fee of any kind on international waters, which this is.
Yeah, look, I think if you go back over the last 4.5 months or so, the president has said something along those same lines before. And then it's come and it's gone, it's passed. And I think at the end of the day, look, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has it right, and others within the administration, that it would be counter to international law, counter to the law of the sea, and counter to what the United States has long talked about with regard to freedom of navigation. So I've been saying now, consistent with that, since the beginning of the war. To me, there are going to be at least two metrics to guide us as to whether the United States will be successful. One is a return to the status quo ante with the Strait of Hormuz, which means open, free for navigation, no charges, no tolls by anyone. A return to the status quo ante. And secondly, he has to get a deal better than Obama's JCPOA, at least for political purposes. And to me, those are the two yardsticks I'm going to continue to hold up to whatever we do and whatever the outcome is whenever this conflict ends.
So we have some new video in Secretary Esper of Iran launching what it says are cruise missiles at U.S. targets in this back and forth. So I don't know if you ever turn and you can see this, but they are saying, this Iranian state media is saying that's a launch of a cruise missile. In terms of understanding what the reality is for U.S. bases, and I guess, what do you think the tolerance is for this to go on? I mean, is it essentially indefinite?
Well, they are targeting U.S. bases in Gulf Arab state countries, Kuwait, Bahrain, and others, Qatar. Obviously the Arab states don't like this, and they're going to put pressure on the administration to, again, try and cut some deal with the Iranians, because it's disrupting their cities, it's disrupting their economics, it's disrupting their commerce. And we know previously, President Trump announced that there would be an escort of Navy vessels escorting commercial ships through the Strait, and that ended after 48 hours because the Arab Gulf states did not want to see that happen. They were, again, concerned about Iranian retribution. But we've moved far beyond that at this point in time. So this is where I go back to. If I was sitting in a Situation Room now, my recommendation would be reinstate the blockade as he's done, keep it on there, but also cut off all other avenues, whether it's air routes into that country, ground routes, whatever it takes to sustain their economy. One thing we got to recognize is their economy is at the worst it's been since the 1980s. Inflation's over 88%. It's never been that high in the 47 years since the revolution in 1979. They are in bad shape economically. And I understand that's going to hurt the Iranian people first, but it's going to also impose a big impact on the regime and also prevent them from reinforcing their proxies like Hamas and Hezbollah. It's going to hurt them from rebuilding their military, their ballistic missiles. So I would focus on the economic blockade of the country, strangling the country, and at the same time, as the Iranians attack commercial shipping or the Gulf states, responding with military force to go after those missile launchers, those drone sites, whatever it is on the shoreline opposite the Strait of Hormuz, to make sure we tamp that down as well.
All right, Secretary Esper.